Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Roadblock here again, back on the free to play. And I wanted to take a look at a couple of things going on the account real quick. So this champion training event started finally, and so now that this event is going, um, figured it was a great time to go ahead and upgrade a lot of the guys that I've just been holding on to, not ready to upgrade yet. So I need food for him, so let's level up some of these guys. Um, I could have done this part off camera, but regardless, this is how I level people up. And we're going to get our... So I don't want Shield Guard or Ethel just yet. We're going to level this guy because he's food. Now, I do want to point out one thing. I'm not tryharding for this event. Let me back up a little bit here. So there is a champion training event going on, which is beneficial because it's good to save your rewards so you can double dip. However, I'm not going all in for this legendary skill tome. It's not that I don't want it. It's more so that my account is pretty drained right now. If we look at not ascension, up levels, that's what it is. If we look at levels, we're really low on brews. Really low on brews. And I'd rather build up a stockpile of brews than uh, push my way for this. Don't get me wrong, Legendary Book is great. That's just a lot of brews. It's a lot of time and everything. However, saving up a couple of guys, a couple of food that you were gonna level up, that's not so bad. You know that's up. So instead of putting brews into these guys to try and boost my score for the champion training event, I'm gonna take this one off. As far as brews go, I'm still gonna level champions during this event. Like obviously, I'm about to level up my apothecary because I did say he's our next focus. Um, but I just wanted to kind of explain that I'm not going all out for this particular event. So, yeah. So there we go. Apothecary is now 5 star, so I'm going to start bringing him along and leveling him up. A couple of things I want to address. One is I did Google um, and research I think I brought it up in the last video. It may have been a non-canon episode, but it may have been, because I made quite a few videos the last couple of days, so it may have been something in another video. But I talked about, is it worth it to run Minotaur or to use the gems? Minotaur is actually cheaper in terms of gems. The amount of energy that you would use to completely level up a champion, I think it was like, I'm just gonna Google it again now. To 2,000 energy on average, 2,000 energy. That was less than 800 gems worth of energy. So it is a little bit more expensive if you use the gems to get masteries for your champion. However, you do save time and you can use that energy for other areas of the game. So there's trade-offs. You need to analyze your account and find out what's more valuable to you. With masteries are very important, but they become a lot more important when a champion is 60, mostly for things like War Master and Giant Slayer, and some of those like really, you know, big tier masteries. I'm not saying the other ones don't matter. I'm just saying that the biggest ones are the ones that make a big difference, right? And so um, that's something to be considered. So I don't usually get masteries until my champions are 60, and then I can consider using gems to get those max masteries because 2,000 energy is kind of hard to get. I'm getting 1,013 per pot, so over that course of time, it can take a while. So, anyways, enough on that. That's not what this video is about. Um, this video, so I wanted to first, give an update on the account. Nothing too much has changed. We just finally 5 star Apothecary. We're gonna start leveling Apothecary now, to get him to 50, and then we're gonna start farming up food for him to hit 60 or 6 star. When he does, I have a brew ready to go for him, or a keg. What is this officially called? I am curious. XP barrel. Okay. So I do have a barrel ready to go for him. But what I wanted to do, since this is a relatively short video for me, I wanted to go ahead and address some comments that I've had in the videos and um, talk about. There's something else I wanted to talk about beyond the comments, but that's really all I can think about right now. So um, let's go ahead and start with some of the comments. So Dave Copperfield said, and I believe this was on my guide to, or, talking about why you're not able to hit gold. I'm finding it difficult to break out a silver 4. Most of the teams I'm up against are about 200k. Why is your silver team so much lower? So, let's take a look at my team. So let's go into arena. I did just spend some of my stuff today. What do I have? Do I have refills? Yeah. Collect this stuff too. You'll see I'm back to saving my energy potions now that I've gotten what I needed out of them. Okay, so let's go to an arena and let's take a look at my team. Okay, so my team power is 64k. And he's talking about going up against people that were 200k. So I kind of wanted to talk about player power. Don't let player power fool you. You'll see this is a 73k team. Let's see how I do against it. Just to either support or possibly put a hole in my argument here. Yeah. So that was I'm 63k. They were 10,000 points or power higher than me. And so the question is why? Well, champion and team power are calculated by certain factors. But this is from Plarium. This is their own words. Please note that team power was not planned to be as my team power is higher, I will definitely win the fight. Team synergy and counterpick are a much more accurate way to defeat your opponents. So champion power is calculated off of stats. So health points, attack, defense, speed, crit rate, crit damage, resistance, accuracy. I don't know where I read it before, but I am almost certain I have read that resistance was rated very highly when it came to player power. So why is it that people in Gold 1 are having 200k player power, so much more? Well, they've probably progressed in the game for longer than you. They might be in Great Hall. They might have more points in the Great Hall, which would increase their stats. They might have better gear than you. They might have stacked a lot of the gear might be stacked towards other certain factors. So resistance, for example, right? If a champion has a lot of resistance, or they have a lot of speed or a lot of defense or a lot of attack. So I guess the answer to the immediate answer to the question is because their characters are probably better than you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win or lose the fight. As I can clearly demonstrate here with it beating somebody that has 10k more power than me. And the reason for this is because I have the right speed tunes and I'm using the champions the right way. Let's look at this particular person who has way more player power than me. Now they have this Su-Wai is their only 6-star. So neither of their legendaries are 6-star and their shaman is only 50. So we can notice that these aren't even ascended. So if they're not ascended, I wonder how many books are. Now, books don't affect player power. I read that, and that was on Plarium's own words as well. So when we look at their team, well, first of all, they don't have Sun Wukong as a speed lead, so I'm going to win the speed battle almost every time. If I have a reasonable amount of speed on my team, I'm going to outspeed their team. So that means they need to be more tanky and defensive. Well, these guys aren't even ascended. So there's a couple benefits when you ascend champions. One, when you ascend champions, you get access to accessories, right? The other thing is you get stat increases. Since most of what we deal with when it comes to stats on champions is percentage based, right? So if we look at my Kayle, I've got attack percent on his chest. Well, that doesn't matter. I guess speed doesn't either. But then you're looking for HP percent, defense percent, right? So percentages are more important for these particular items, right? So those percentages are based on their stats. When you ascend a champion, you're gaining more base stats, which is going to increase how much those percentages help you, right? So 33% of 100 is 33, but 33% of 1,000 is 330, right? No, that's not right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I need to stop doing math on recording. Okay, but so my point is that as you know, player power just doesn't mean everything that you think it means, and I think that's important. Look at this. This is a 94K. This is crushing my 64K. Let's see how we do. I win the speed battle. They had high resist. Did you see I didn't? No. Oh, yeah. No, we did great. So player power doesn't matter. If you're struggling to... I'm not saying that I can beat someone that has 200K player power, okay? My team is based around speed. You know, it's highly likely someone with 200K player power will outspeed my Deacon. With the gear that I currently have. I'm limited by the fact that my account is 19, 20 days old now, right? But also the main takeaways here are too, like what the champions that they're running. So these may have high resist, they could have high defense, they could have high HP, but these champions just aren't good. Shaman, I'm gonna feed her when I get her. Oh, I guess I won't get her. I don't know how that works because I haven't seen any pop-ups since I got Jizzo, so I don't think I get any more. And then Warp Priest is just a weaker version of Spirit Host. Also, one of the reasons my team player power is so low is because I'm rocking a level 40 Spirit Host right here. And so, they're rocking level 50s. They've got higher levels, but I don't need Spirit Host to be anything higher than 40. Spirit Host is only there to give me increased attack and then die, right? So you can have low player power, but still get what you need out of a champion. In fact, part of the reason that she probably contributes such a low amount of power to my team is because she doesn't have any stats. Well, yeah, so let's look at Kayle. Kayle has 23,000 player power. Spirit Host has 4,521. Why is that? Because she doesn't have any stats. She has no accuracy, barely any resistance. She has a lot of speed, but no HP, no attack, no defense. The champion isn't that valuable. Also, one of my strongest champions right now is my Deacon Armstrong. He has good accuracy, but no stats anywhere else. He has a lot of speed, but not as many stats elsewhere as what the Kayle has, because Kayle is crit capped. Kayle has attack. Kayle has some HP, but not as much as Deacon, right? So there are different factors that come into play when you're talking about player power that can affect. He's also fully ascended. I don't know if that should matter because that's going to increase stats. So these are all things that need to be considered. You'll see that Sun Wukong has more player power, but is arguably weaker than Deacon Armstrong, given just the concept behind both characters and how I'm building them and how I'm working with them. But I will say Sun Wukong has the most resistance of anyone on my teams, and that's because he just happens to be in some really good gear that I got from an event. So don't read too much into player power. It is a rough idea, but don't read too much into it. There are other things that matter in this game. So another question I got. This one's a little less raid related, but is an interesting comment nonetheless that I wanted to comment on. Posting every day or every 2 days is better than posting twice a day. And that's their opinion. 100% respect your opinion. We are here to listen to every opinion. I'm open to comments. I'm open to criticism. I'm open to fact checking. If I say something wrong, hey, let me know. In that same vein, I have my own opinions. Um, One thing I don't want to do is flood you guys with content to the point where you can't keep up. That's not my intention. That being said, if I get a question or if I get motivated to make some content, I am going to do that. And it may not be something because you may not be interested in everything that I'm posting, like you individually, but other people may be. And that my content is meant to help people in general. So, as I said, when I posted a lot of those videos yesterday, one of them was about PvP, and that's because I had a clan member ask me questions about PvP, and I was like, I got you. I'm gonna go make you a video real quick, okay? Also, while this is part of my free to play series, I will also be making videos on my main account for people that have been playing the game further. I want to make raid content, but not all free to play content. Or rather, let me rephrase that because um I want to be I'm not going to be like, "Oh, go win this battle by buying this champion." That's not what I'm saying, but on my main account I have spent some money and I do have a pretty strong account. Um but I also want to show people using that account and the champions that I've gathered ways to further their own personal game and raid. So I can go into depth on things like Hydra, stuff that some content that you might not have access to, um, Doom Tower, dungeons, other things like that. Um, and so I want to be able to do that stuff, and I don't want to limit myself to one video a day because then I'm just drawing things out, right? Especially with Raid, I found this out since doing content creation, but doing it for just, not that long, right? But I've been doing it. And originally, I wanted to build a backlog and record videos in advance. So I recorded like 3 videos one day of topics that I had an idea for a video. And then I set them up for scheduled release. So they would each release in subsequent days. And then we had news drop. We had a new event drop, right? We had the crystal shards, right? Or the primal summon boost, or all those things. And I wanted to make content about it on the day that it happened because it's relevant for you guys, my viewers, to understand, hey, this is going on, right? So you should know about this. This is going on. I want you to be updated and use your time wisely and use your, energy or your game time wisely. And I couldn't do that because I had a backlog of videos, right? So I just bumped one up early and then released the video I wanted to on that day. So my plan right now is to not get too far ahead of myself. On the weekends, I will be recording either 2 videos on a Friday or recording a Friday and a Saturday, um, for my Saturday video and Sunday video respectively. And that's just because right now I work weekends. And so I don't want to get too bogged down, um, trying to like come home and rush to get content made. I want to be able to get some dinner, relax, um, spend time with my daughter, and then maybe make a video that night or something along those lines. So, anyways, as far as my content cycle, it's gonna be sporadic. It's gonna be a lot, but I don't want to flood you guys. I don't. So I'm taking that criticism to heart, and I'm saying, you know what? They have a good point. I need to make sure that I keep it under control. Okay, so instead of 4 videos coming out a day, maybe that hey, this is why you're not hitting gold video could have waited until Monday or Sunday. So that's a really good criticism, and I appreciate you for taking the time to send me that comment. The last one that I have that I wanted to go over is about me crafting. This is from an old video. This is from one of my like first free to play videos. So what are we, 20 days ago, 18 days ago, something like that, 19 days ago. And they were telling me to try to craft Swift Parry because if you get speed boots and attack percent and crit rate, it will boost your account. Completely agree with that assessment, but I want to point out one big important thing. If is a big thing. Okay. So let's talk about Swift Parry. Swift Parry, to get the benefit of Swift Parry, you need 4 pieces. Okay. And I don't know if you guys can remember, but back when I crafted this set, we didn't have all that many of the will stones, at least not the legendary ones, to create the 5 to 6 star piece. Now I can craft 4 to 5 star pieces, right? So and honestly, I see their point too, because crafting 4 to 5 star here, I can't even craft the lower ones. So this is actually, honestly, that's where my will stones are going to start going, just for the fact that they're guaranteed to be 4 to 5 star pieces without needing to have, because like I'm never going to be able to craft 5 to 6 star perception anytime soon, because I'm never going to get these legendary pieces until I progress further in faction wars, and I don't have the champions to do that, right? However, I can pretty consistently get these guys because I'm getting these guys. So this is actually a really good idea. And I'm not going to lie, I came in here not to dispute it, but my original thought process and why I didn't build this gear when I first started playing, and why I built resilience instead in the 5 to 6 star, was because my nuker was going to make a 4-piece set work. This is not going to go on my Kayle. I will not put Swift Parry on my Kayle, because yes, it gives me 18% speed, and yes, it gives me 30% crit damage, but lifesteal is more important for what I need to do on my account. I can hit super hard, but at some point I'm going to have to hit with a single attack and not an AoE that kills everybody, and then 3 enemies get a turn and I have no way to get my health back. And on clan boss, that's a big deal. I need to get my health back. So I want to be in lifesteal gear. However, from a pure stats perspective, this is good to do the 4 to 5 star one. So that is a good point that I didn't consider until right now when I made this video. The problem with Swift Parry for me is that I needed to get 4 good pieces, right? So we're just gonna craft a piece and let's see what happens. All right, HP boots, cool. That's good. At least they're not flat stats. However, I want speed on my boots. I don't want granted, I get plus 18 speed, true, but I want to have speed on my boots. This is a piece I probably won't use, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, because I can't think of a character that I would want to have 8% more HP instead of what would it be, like 30 speed? 22 speed, yeah. Right? Or 40 speed. And the argument can be made like, well, you just need to craft more pieces. You're absolutely right. But the chances of me crafting a piece that I'm not going to use are high. And it's a 4-piece set. So to get the value out of this, I have to craft 4 good usable pieces that don't hold my characters back from a stats perspective. Or I could craft the resilience gear, and I'm only talking about starting the game, guys. Or I can craft the resilience gear at 4 to 5 star and 5 to 6 star and get extra stats with only a 2-piece set of HP and defense. Who in this game needs HP and defense? Support champions. Let's look at my account. Who's going to benefit from speed and crit damage? Kayle and Sun Wukong. Who's going to benefit from support stats like defense and HP? Deacon Armstrong, Apothecary, Eris, Armiger, Spirit Host. You guys get where I'm saying now? You're going to have these other characters that need survivability and tankiness more than they need a ton of crit damage. Maybe it's a hot take, but it is my opinion that I don't need, when I first started the account, I didn't need to go for the Swift Parry as much as maybe the Resilience. And I also note that the Resilience can be forged here in the 4 to 5 star using these items as well. What else uses them? Is it just Resilience? So it's Resilience or Swift Parry, right? Yeah, okay. So between the two of them, doing 4 to 5 star or these 4 to 5 star, it's up for debate. I still think resilience might be the answer. And also, you need to keep in mind that I got lucky with some gear too. If we look at Sun Wukong, I got some 6-star gear. I got a weapon that had both crit damage and crit rate. Come on, guys. You know, I had 8 attack and HP percent and speed. Let's go. Same thing here. Accuracy and crit rate. You know, like all these items are really strong items, and I got them from a really great event that could never happen again, right? So grain of salt, you know, but with where my account is right now, pure stats and 4 to 5 star items, you know, maybe not so much necessary. So the fact that I can get, I'm see, this is why you play the game and you think about your decisions, because I'm backtracking again. 4 to 5 star. If I'm gonna craft 4 to 5 star gear using the Willstones, it's gonna be resilience. I do think it's gonna be resilience because that HP and that defense, if I can make a 2-set work, which is easier than making a 4-set, is going to help me. And the only characters that are going to want to use Swift Parry are that I have currently on my account. Everything's flexible, things can change, but currently on my account, these are the champions that are going to use Swift Parry. And Kale's not going to use Swift Parry because I want him in lifesteal, and Sun Wukong's not going to use Swift Parry because I'm not going to be able to craft gear that can beat these. These are such great items. So, um, you know, these are just so things to consider for your account and what's going to help you. What helps you may not help everybody else. So it's a great comment. I gave it some real consideration, and I do see the value in your statement, Chris 240. I do see the value in your statement. It's just not for me. For where I'm going in the account, not for me. However, I do think that this could be a very viable set for me to go with. As I get later into the early game and start focusing on PvP, but maybe don't have access to as much Savage gear as I would like that's usable, I could definitely craft some Swift Parry instead and build some champions that way. So again, all your comments, great suggestions. Thank you so much for the comments. I really appreciate it. Um, there was one other comment that I didn't copy, mostly because I didn't really understand what they meant. Um, because they like were telling me how to do Sand Devil. I know how to do Sand Devil on my main account. I'm not struggling to do Sand Devil. Um, I I do him. I don't do him that often on my main account because I don't really need to. Ascending my gear is great. It's, you know, great boost to my stats, but I'm finding success on everywhere that I'm currently going. So the ascension and use of the time and the energy towards him for my account and my purposes isn't necessary at the moment. And I don't think there's any scenario where I would do those bosses on the free to play, at least in the short term. Um, you know, because I just have other priorities right now. And that's all it is. This game is all about priorities. Who's your priority? You know, we've talked about leveling up one champion at a time. Now, yes, I have a couple 4 stars here that, you know, these guys could still be 3 stars, but I did get some value out of them on Clan Boss, right? And so it's not, you know, and they can eventually be food. Eris won't be food, but Spirit Host will eventually be food for a champion. 100% will eventually be food. Armiger, not so much. Probably didn't need to level him up. Actually, I think I probably just leveled these guys up to get some easy points in that champion training tournament. All right. Well, we're at the 30-minute mark. I do want to keep my videos. I mean, I don't even like going 30 minutes. I'd like to keep them shorter than that, but, you know, I like to talk. So, as you guys can see, I am very open to your communication and your comments. I will gladly try to address them if I think, you know, I can and they're worthwhile on the account. So keep those comments coming, keep the likes coming. Feel free to subscribe to me if you enjoy my content. But I'm happy to be here for you guys. Again, I'm working on it. It's probably gonna take me until our deadline is by November to improve the quality of the channel. What I mean by that is getting some intros, getting an outro, getting my face cam. My face cam works. Like I can run face cam right now. I just don't. I'm just, where I'm currently situated in my house. I don't really think you guys want to see people walking around my background. So, but I'm working towards, fixing those things. So, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.